I told you, you can get investment in your music and you don't have to be a viral artist. You don't have to be massive. You don't have to be signed to a label. And most importantly, you can maintain your creative freedom and rights to your music. I know. Sounds too good to be true, but that's exactly what I'm talking about today. Year after year, month after month, we're seeing new ways that artists can raise money or get access to money that used to only be available to large artists or people who are just willing to give their entire life away. But now track deals are making real money accessible to artists for next to nothing, and you don't have to be big. I'll tell you exactly how they work, but the big thing that you have to consider is a single deal versus a track deal. Now, I've always been a pretty strong proponent of single deals for people it makes sense for. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to break down the benefits of that and how track deals are a slight iteration. So you need to think about from a single deal and how you can get connected to investors who would pour that money into you, as long as you have quality music. So again, if you don't know what a singles deal is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's one song, it's a single. Instead of somebody buying your entire catalog, instead of them buying your project or getting rights to a project, all you have to do is give the rights to one song. So you might have one song going viral and then you have a label or some entity approach you and they say, hey, for access to this song, rights of this song, we're going to provide a certain level of marketing, promotion, etc. behind it. And you get the benefits of it because after all, it's your song. So I'm marketing your song to the rest of the world. You do have some ownership in most cases. And once people find out about that song, you have the rest of your catalog that you own and you'll get 100% of that money to yourself, unless you split it up with somebody else, of course, right? So you still own your catalog, although you did sacrifice this one song. But that can work pretty well for a lot of artists. If this song got 100 million streams and now the rest of my songs went up collectively another 1 to 2 million streams and I kept all of that money, then financially, let's just say it's not a worse. It could add up. However, the biggest issue that I do have with single deals is the ownership usually transfers in most of those situations. Or it could just be a very long-term deal. It doesn't have to be ownership, but in many situations, they're trying to take ownership of that song. Where track deals, you get the same type of benefit of an entity coming in, pushing your music, splitting the percentage, but you still own the song and you can control the percentage of profit split that they have rights to. Let me say it this way to make it clear. If I told you that I'm going to market your song, you pay me no money up front, and I'm going to help boost it on streaming platforms, and all you ever had to do was now pay me 20% of the profits from that song on streaming platforms. I'm still not taking your music ownership. I'm still not taking any of your merch, any of your show money. It's literally that. You paid me nothing up front. I only took after I helped grow the song. And by the way, this still could only be for 1 year or 2 years. You lost nothing. You gave nothing up front, and they only took a percentage of what they gave you. It's a beautiful deal, and that's how track deals work. And if you're interested in trying a deal like this, the go-to place for it is our sponsor for today's video, Wallstream. Now, as many of you guys know, that I only do series about tools specifically that we use maybe once every 2 years for the most part. And now I'm in the midst of this series, creating an entire playlist in tools that we actually use and tools that we actually believe in. And I do that for a couple of reasons. There's no way to give quality recommendations if I'm just making every single video about some random tool that's now available. And I only enjoy putting people on to things that I actually think is going to make an impact. Oftentimes our clients have been using them for a long time. So this process of a track deal is something that I think is extremely innovative. Wallstream is credible, and they're the only ones that I know that do this type of deal in a way that's accessible for artists. Check this out. All you have to do is put your music on the platform, and now it's in a catalog where some people are reaching out to you, whether they're an influencer, a DJ, a playlister. There are people who have access to bring visibility because they own platforms and they're looking for music to promote. If your music is good to them and they have platforms that match your genre, your style, the audience that they serve, then they will make an offer to you. So they're coming onto the platform, looking through a bunch of different artists, listening to music, going through different vibes, and making offers to the artists they like. But here's the other side of it. You, as an artist, can pitch your music as well. You can go check out a bunch of different playlists and a bunch of different platforms and figure out who makes sense for you, so you can then come to a deal, right? Whether it's 20%, 50%, it's very easy to make a pitch, right? When you find the platform, you choose your percentage, you say how long you want it to be, you might give a little bit of a writing, you submit, and there you go. That's it. Now, let me break down how this works and why it's valuable from a lot of different ways. The big thing about this is it flips the concept of just getting playlists or just getting influencers or DJs to push your music and you paying for it up front on its head. Because what you often see is with all these campaigns, you'll get streams, and then once you stop the campaign, it's a drop off. And we've all seen those stats on our songs or other people's songs, especially when we're beginning to start promo and you're finding out, there's a lot of fake followers, or maybe people are boosting something in a way that doesn't capture real audience. But when a playlister or an influencer or whoever that entity is has a long-term investment over a month's period and they're getting money from it, they're going to keep figuring out, how do I keep pushing this song back to the top of my playlist? Or how can I keep reintroducing it on my platforms? Because I know I'm going to get paid from it as well. Now, you shouldn't be expecting to get $1 million, right? $200,000, like they're going to blow your music up. But it's a really good way for artists, especially artists who are just beginning to find their footing when it comes to marketing and building out their Spotify profiles, to start getting visibility, getting it for no money down, right? Not getting rid of their rights or being exploited, getting all of that back after the deal period is over, and doing it in a way where it's low risk because the platform has all of this figured out for you, all the legalese. Now, I'm not saying you should never involve a lawyer or have anybody look over this for you. That's always the typical advice any platform that you get involved with, any deal that you get involved with, that is the typical, right? So don't say Sean said do this without a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. However, the platform has the contracts and the process figured out. And what I love is the playlisters, the DJs, all of these people are incentivized to stay in good standing. If I screw you over, then I'm going to be negatively impacted on the platform and I'm not going to be able to work with another artist. They monitor all those things because it only works if the marketplace is good on both sides. And many of y'all have received the sketchy emails, or y'all know some of the characters that exist in the music industry. It's nice to have a platform that's invested in doing a lot of the filtering for you, monitoring of the relationship for you, and then also everybody coming into the agreement, understanding and expecting the same thing. Not to mention everything being tracked. One thing I love is the splits happen automatically. You don't have to track somebody down to get the proper splits or to give the proper splits, depending on which side of the agreement you're on. And you see it all mapped out right there before your eyes. You know exactly how much money you're bringing in with the separate tracks month over month. You can calculate expected royalties. There's tool after tool to make this process easy. There's an app, and there's nothing like it that I know of, which is why I had to speak about them specifically. I've helped artists get distributor deals, record deals, negotiate all types of contracts, but nobody's making it this easy for not only artists to get access to funding, but if you're a playlister, influencer, or anybody like that, to be able to leverage your own platform, to basically leverage your influence for more than just a one-off fixed payment, right? Typically, they're a work for hire. And that's why a lot of times you don't see any long-term investment or behavior. It's just, I got to bring in new artists in, new artist out. If I don't get a new artist, I don't get new money. Well, now those platforms are finding really specific artists that they believe in and then continuing to push those artists over time and being a part of their growth in a way that is actually good for both sides. So if you're interested in at least seeing what your music is worth to people, Wallstream is a perfect place to go. You can start an account, it's for free, and you can get the context of my genre, my style, my level of following, and the type of music in terms of the level of quality it is. What are people willing to offer? Are people trying to take 50% for my music, or are they trying to take 15% for my music? Or you can also just go on the platform and look at the type of deals that other people are getting, or other offers that other people are getting, which allows you to understand the game better. It's educational, if anything. If there's any reason to go on the platform, at minimum, you can go on and you get better financially educated about how much money you should be making or could be making, the types of deals that you could be getting. So whenever anybody approaches you at any level, whether a song blows up and a label's talking to you, distributors are talking to you, you start to get a better sense of what this is actually worth, how this game goes, and if somebody's offering something that's way off base. So I encourage everybody, go to Wallstream, sign up, put your music out there, see if you get any offers, maybe even go through a couple of pitching scenarios to see if you do have a song that you believe in and you find a playlister that you believe in, and then see if you can come to a deal, or at least just see how the conversation goes. Because I've always talked about the benefits of playlisting in general. They're not necessarily I'm going to blow up, but there's always the value of, hey, I get money for the streams, and it's great now that you don't have to put money up front. It is technically all profit for you because you don't have to put in marketing dollars. But then beyond that, it's a great way to get your algorithm in line so your related artists are correct. So even going on a platform like this, finding the right types of playlist influencers or DJs that will put your music in the right lineups so Spotify, the DSPs, better understand you, then that alone is something that's going to benefit you. Because the more aligned your algorithm is, the more likely your music is actually going to go viral on Spotify, which is a very real thing. People don't talk about it enough, but if your algorithm's not right, the chances are almost zero unless you have a massive swell of users coming in from outside the platform, and that usually costs money. Take it from somebody who does it all the time for artists. So check out Wallstream. If you already have checked out Wallstream and done some type of track deal, share your experience in the comment section below. And also let me know what you think about track deals, because I believe this is the future. Wallstream is really onto something, and I would love if other platforms and other people start seeing this as an opportunity and create this norm so more artists have access to opportunities like this, because good music deserves to be heard. That's it for this video. And as mentioned, I'm creating a list of platforms that I recommend, why I recommend them, why we use them, or why we think they are the best to use. I'm not going to talk down on any platforms, but I do have a playlist and you can see who's on it and maybe think about who's not. We'll put it up somewhere around me on this video and a link to the playlist in the description below.